Okay, so we have a new video. The controversial rise of Pippa. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Rabbit. Obviously, I have heard about Pippa. I've heard about her. I know that she's like the most popular Face Connect member. Like, I've heard of Face Connect. I know of her, but I don't really know anything about her. Like, I've not really watched anything of her or seen that much content from her. All I've heard is that, it says controversial rise. I've heard that she's I don't know, controversial, just like in terms like corporate VTubers, she's just more like edgy, and that's what makes her sort of, I guess, more controversial. But I've just sort of heard that, she's like, she's like edgier, so that makes people, like certain people, maybe not like her as much. But I guess we'll be learning about her in this video, so let's check it out, by Rima Evenstar. Is that the Family Guy music? I don't know.
Did they reorganize all of the aisles again?
What aisle is this?
Where would their kitsune section be now? I swear to God, if I have to be stuck with the horse memes for another week, I'm gonna—
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Oh hey, crazy seeing you here. You're probably wondering, who the hell is that deranged rabbit girl blasting up the foot care section? Promise to be my meat shield, and I'll tell you all I know.
That's out of pocket. Promise to be my meat shield, bro. I mean,
maniac. Pipkin Pippa is the embodiment of she's just like me for real. And by just like me, I mean your average basement-dwelling keyboard warrior. Pippa is a female English virtual YouTuber and a member of Face Connect. She debuted as part of its first generation alongside Rinku Ashilia, Hakushika Iori, Tenma Maemi, Fujikura Uruka, Shizui Mishiru, and Utatane Naza. She's kind of like a female, more hyperactive version of Asmongold. After all, they both drink way too much soda and repurpose entirely harmless part of their households for quite unsavory uses.
And no more vomit drawer.
Wait, what do you mean?
What?
No more.
No more. Like, I haven't had mold in here for a while.
No, the other thing.
Oh, I haven't had a vomit drawer in like over
oh,
2
a
years.
fucking what?
Listen, now I grab the trash can out of the bathroom like a normal person.
Why did you keep a drawer?
Well, because I needed something that I could like lay my head into in case I got sick in the middle of the night.
And you were like a kid when you did this?
No, God! In a world filled with—
What the fuck? That's actually fucking disgusting. A vomit drawer? A drawer to stick your head in and vomit in? What happens if you've, like, does she clean it after she vomits? I mean, I don't even want to question it, but what do you even do? Like, does she leave the vomit in the drawer? I feel like it's more pain and more inconvenient to fucking vomit in your vomit drawer and then having to, like, take the drawer out and clean it out instead of just, like, can't she run to the bathroom and vomit in the sink like a normal person? I don't know.
With carefully curated personas, Pippa's unabashedly degenerate antics deeply resonate with her audience.
Oh fuck! You guys said a bunch of them. Holy shit!
Oh my god, that's loud.
Attracting
Jesus.
a devoted cult following. Her genuine and unfiltered opinions, regardless of the potential for pushback or controversy, have struck a deep chord with her loyal fan base. As deranged as Pippa comes off, she is still very relatable and stands as
I think obviously to note, I think I think it's respectable, yes, to be unfiltered and to be like unapologetically yourself, and to be like quote unquote like edgy and like be yourself and not give a shit. But obviously there's like a certain like boundary to that, of course. There's a way. There's like when it's sort of like there is sort of a boundary to like overstepping. Like when something becomes like okay, that's like a bit like morally wrong, or it's like I feel like there's a level to like where something can be like quote unquote like problematic to actually like statements or opinions that can be harmful to others. If you're like not crossing that boundary, then I respect it.
Reacting to wacky stories to fortune reading ASMR.
What the fuck?
I want Pippa to lick her souls clean of my seed after the act is done.
Pippa has endless hours of content ready to destroy you mentally. Pippa is sometimes dubbed Walmart Pecora, is a good case study of what happens when the creator is more degenerate than the audience. But naturally, straddling the fine line between edgy humor and shock value can stir debates, leading to polarized opinions about her. This divide is stark, with individuals either adoring her unique charm or finding her approach very off-putting.
Yeah.
Before Pippa's debut, she wrote...
it makes sense. It's sort of just like the thing. It's like some people just don't like edgy humor. It's like it's not something that appeals to them, or they can get offended by, which I can't blame people for essentially. But I think there is like a certain there's a fine line between making edgy jokes or edgy content and like overstepping. But there's always gonna be, I feel like when you make like more edgier content, there's always gonna be people like that who may have a certain dislike towards it.
Released these videos as teasers showcasing her personality. 3 of her notable videos include VTubers are PSYOP, where she claims that VTubers were part of a government PSYOP to ensure that humans wouldn't
She
breed.
flat earther?
PPPP, and a clean version of Ram Ranch.
18 happy friends at a slumber party. Big
Oh my
fat
god.
fluffy pillows wanting to be hugged.
A classic. Pippa initially dreamt of joining Hololive. I'm, in a way, glad she got rejected, because if she did join Hololive,
there was no way
we would have ever got the Pippa that we know today.
No
she
way.
finally made her long-awaited debut on June 20, 2021.
It makes sense that her dreams to join Hololive, whatever, because I feel like that's like what most VTubers' ambitions and dreams are, that is like #1 company, so it makes sense.
In that stream, she explained that she's actually 3, that she likes tabletop RPGs.
3?
And if you're a D&D lover like Pippa, do you know what else you might like? This book called The Tome of Phalor. It's a beautiful...
Is this an ad? Sorry.
It's a with the latest book from Fable Spinners. Enhance your stories with incredible description. Hardcore version, the fancy one, is a Kickstarter exclusive, and the campaign ends in March, so make sure you don't miss it. Thank you, Tome of Phalor, for sponsoring this video. Now back to
Do you think VTuber fans read Rima? It's an ad.
Main content, which is probably less magical,
your bag,
although
sister.
It's very pastel. But hey, at least I won't have glitters in my hair for the next 6 months. During her debut, Pippa also stated that she likes power chords, playing video games, and she loves
power chords.
On the other hand, she hates technical difficulties, lag,
understandable,
bufferings, and crowds. But
that makes sense.
Of all, she hates the federal government.
One thing, I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30. I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30. I'm not a big fan of the government.
If you hadn't noticed already, Pippa is what we call a conspiracy theorist. She kind of tried to be more sisso and clean in the first few weeks of her debut.
Chat, you wanna kiss?
When then she became... She released it, she became unhinged.
It lasted a total of like 2 streams, and she slowly evolved into what she is today. The Yabbit menace and force of chaos.
I respect that in the sense of like, she was being more herself, because I feel like maybe she like acted like, I don't know, all cutesy or whatever, to, because it's like, oh, that's the appeal, right? It's like, oh, I'm a cute bunny girl VTuber. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to like essentially like appeal to like thinking that's what works essentially. But I mean, I think that's just like that's like an oversaturated market. So I think her actually being more herself obviously worked for her.
Chaos. Pippa loves corrupting everyone she collaborates with for conspiracy theories and odd internet facts. The same goes for when she collabs with Kirsha. Collaborations between Pippa and her are consistently remarkable because of their amazing synergy. I believe collabs have the potential to be much more than just combining view counts. If the creators really click, it makes for content that grabs attention in ways they couldn't do by themselves.
Yeah, they have good
So
chemistry.
just combining two big fan bases might not even bring the best results at time. This really showcases how it's all about that connections in those collabs, which can spark amazing content. And this goes for creators big and small.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a black squirrel.
Oh.
Why can't you just say okay?
She's gotta specify that it's melanated for when she attacks it.
The thing is, Pippa often describes herself as being quite pessimistic about the world and herself, but not when it comes to VTubing. Regarding VTubing, she harbors an incredible passion, and when she begins discussing them, you can tell she sees them as a positive driving force and source of inspiration, and that she is quite knowledgeable about the topic, as well as being full of great advices.
And you cannot be them, but you can be you. This is so corny. This is so corny. But you can be you, and you can be one of those like super cool people. You can be super talented and super amazing, and it might take you longer to get to that point. And it's really upsetting sometimes. You gotta let go of your ego though. But just keep at it. And then you'll hit whatever fucking age. You hit 40. And suddenly you're fucking Leonardo da Vinci in your fucking drawings and your inventions and whatever the hell.
Hey,
you
better
know?
late than never, I
It would make
guess.
sense for Pippa to found her own VTuber idol agency. In one instance, she even started a meme idol agency called Flavor. Flavor is a
Flavor.
meme corporation set up by
Flavor,
Pippa with the help of AI. It's meant as a parody of the state of VTubing and corporate culture. In this setup, Pippa is portrayed as a failed evil corporate CEO who got fired from her previous company called Kuro Company after one of her former talents revealed Pippa was using her powers to force sexual favors
What the
on her
hell?
talents. Given that the entire project is open source, Pippa's fans begin to contribute, leading to a surge of content for her community to engage with. It became a creative sandbox for everyone involved. This initiative
That's honestly amazing.
led to 5 generations of VTuber models, which were adopted and operated by her fans, emerging from this agency.
What? That's
They
actually
even
amazing.
created Twitter
Wow.
accounts for each and every single
What the fuck is that?
model. Made-up lores also emerged from this parody agency, including fake Discord logs that were leaked, and even, yes, fake VTuber drama, leading to one of their affiliated talents having to issue an apology.
That's actually
on
funny.
social
That's
media.
actually hilarious. I
Initially,
love
it was
that,
all fun
actually.
and games, but eventually she kind of lost control of it as it
Okay, yeah, I mean, it being, like, open sourced does make sense for it to go out of control, because it feels like... It feels like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. It feels like there's sort of... It feels like she doesn't have a sense of control of it already, like, letting fans like, do whatever they want with it. It feels like... Okay, that might be a bit dangerous in the sense of it being like it's cool, like it's cool to have this like community based sort of thing, but it's like when it's entirely sort of open sourced and there's sort of like a fine line between like making up like fake drama and stuff. There's definitely a way that can just go out of control and you can lose control of that.
took a life on its own. Her coworkers began to get annoyed with some of the interactions with her fanbase, and even the CEO of Face Connect, Sakana, started sweating a little bit, I'm sure. Everyone was wondering how much she was actually responsible for what the flavor talents were doing.
So, like, do you actually, like, run these accounts or something? Like, what? None of them! I don't own any of these! None of them! I have no part in this! All I did, I made this logo. With chat's help, I generated the images. That's it. I have not made any of these accounts.
So eventually she had to distance herself from it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the downside of having an edgy fan base.
Yeah.
The positive aspects is that you're extremely hard to cancel.
I mean, even if her audience wasn't edgy, I feel like this could get out of hand with, like, any fan base just because of how, like, open it sort of is.
Most things will fly with them. The downside is that they're kind of hard to control, and if you ever want to go more sesso in the long run or want to change your content, they might revolt. In another hilarious antic created by her fan base, the Pipakistan fan Twitter account was created. This is a roleplay account where each day the value of the fictional Pippa currency called
The hell?
One is adjusted up or down in response to Pippa's later stream or social media antics. Basically, Pippa has her own bank, and on that topic, what the fuck are you guys doing? Where is my bank?
True, I need one too.
But one of the bigger controversies Pippa was involved in, and one that helped her put her on the map, is the Hogwarts Legacy scandal.
Oh.
Hogwarts Legacy is a game that came out on February 10th.
It's like, this is the thing. This is the thing people don't realize. Controversy helps. The reality is, like, that the actual reality is that most of the time, people don't get cancelled unless it's like actual, like, you know, like illegal shit. You know, like actual, like, you know, like abuse, P word, you know, those sort of things, you know, exploitation of fans, you know, like, just like the more, like, most extreme of things. I mean, the sad reality is even some of the most extreme of things, there are still creators who sort of were able to, like, I mean, obviously they were impacted by it, but they were still able to, like, continue making content even after the fact. So, like, even negative controversies can actually still help you, and that's the sad reality of things. It really can. It can, like, you know, because you are essentially getting pushed out to the public eye, regardless of it being positive or negative.
2020.
You know, like, what do they say? Like, it's still, you know, it's still publicity. Like, good publicity or bad publicity, it's still, like, helping. I mean, her being a part of a company, though, that definitely probably is more of a, like, in the sense of, because, you know, being a controversial figure in a VTuber company, obviously if they do something controversial, bad, that obviously reflects the company as well, because obviously you're representing that company, that agency, you know. So in that context is also why you kind of have to be more careful, and that's why there's, you know, like, you know, VTubers and VTuber companies are kind of more careful and normally are kind of more say-so.
And is an action role-playing game set in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Seems pretty innocent, right?
Yeah.
Well, the plot twist is that its author, J.K. Rowling, has been making quite a lot of disparaging political comments about transgenders and trans rights on social media. And despite not being directly involved in the game's development or its narrative creation...
because she you know, wrote the source material, she wrote the books, but she has nothing to do with the game.
Rowling profits from the game due to her ownership of the Harry Potter intellectual property, or IP. This ownership means that any content produced within the Harry Potter universe,
she gets money
including
from it,
Hogwarts Legacy, generates royalties for her. This, of course, developed into a large-scale protest and boycott against all streamers that wanted to play Hogwarts Legacy, regardless of their political views, which resulted into a mass harassment campaign of several content creators. A list was even created to keep track of who was playing the game at the time, creating a huge divide within the community as the members of this list eventually became prime targets of harassment. The biggest examples of these was the targeted harassment of VTubers such as Silvervale and Pikami.
Yeah,
The conversation
Pikami,
culminated in a mass cyber such as Silvervale and Pikami. The conversation
So if you're a trans ally and not gonna stream or promote the mediocre wizard game, let us know. I think too many trans streamers or viewers are feeling unsupported and I'd love to know who's with us.
culminated in a mass cyber
Silvervale blocked the word trans on her stream, tested it to make sure it's true. I don't have to explain why this is gross. The past week for all friends have been gross. I know there was the HP streamer, even then, why game over humans? I don't want to get into this. Obviously this is a conversation that happened a lot, but just essentially how I see it is that I think as a society we should separate the artist from the creation, because there are so many creators who are terrible people, or creators who end up being horrible people, and I do not think that you consuming that content after, finding out this person's a whole person means that you are indirectly supporting that kind of behavior. It's the same this is the equivalent to being the creator of Aloni Kenshin got caught with CP. So if I watch the new Aloni Kenshin anime that's coming out, does that mean I'm supporting CP? No, I don't think so. I don't think that means that in any way, shape, or form. So that's sort of why I can understand, but it's just, I think people just take it too far. And at the end of the day, I do think that people should have the right to play the game they want to play the game. And I do not think it should be this thing of you choose a game over human rights. It's I don't necessarily, as a queer person myself, I don't necessarily agree with it.
for bullying and lots of attempts at cloud chasing from several smaller VTubers who seized the opportunity to promote their own platforms as a safe space, unlike the platforms of those who chose to play the wizard game. At the time, this minority of really loud, outspoken voices created a false consensus of unanimity in opinions. Most were too scared to speak out or give a more nuanced take on the topic for fear of losing their platforms or even being publicly
because you get attacked,
So this led to the harassment, doxing, and bullying of Silvervale especially, who broke down on stream several times and even saw some of her relationships with her coworkers sour.
And we all understand your feelings, and you know, I hope you enjoyed your time here while
I mean, it's two wrongs don't make a right. I think it's fucking stupid to be oh, okay, people, I'm a minority, I suffer because of being a minority, so, it's in the sense of, of anything, right? No, I do not think if somebody is, transphobic, obviously, transphobia is bad, but, starting a hate campaign to dox them and harass them is wrong. And that doesn't, even though this transphobic person may be a horrible person, sending them harassment and doxing them does not make what you are doing an acceptable thing because this other person's a bad person. It's still a bad thing you're doing because you are harming not just them but potentially their family, their friends, their neighbors. Is just actively not something that I can respect. I understand that somebody may be a terrible person. I understand that, you know, obviously, somebody being transphobic or homophobic or whatever, and then publicly stating that and publicly saying hurtful and horrible things can damage people, and it's harmful to have those kind of opinions and to speak those kinds of opinions publicly. But that does not mean that two wrongs make a right, and does not mean that sending them harassment, doxing them, makes that okay. And that is you stooping down to their level, and, you know, you doing a horrible action because somebody did a horrible action to you does not make it right. It doesn't. It doesn't make it okay, regardless.
We're here. And it's okay if you don't want to be here anymore. But harassing people because they played a video game is not how you go about proper activism.
It's
try
not.
to make legitimate changes.
It's not. It's not.
But the worst part of the whole thing is that the harassment also resulted in the departure of the VTuber Pikami, who was widely loved and known for her impeccable...
I mean, I think I heard, though, that it wasn't, like, Pikami was already, like, deciding to, like, she was already, like, going to graduate before everything happened.
behavior. And that's when Pippa steps in.
I think Silverbill just got harassed over it. I think some people just started fucking harassing Silverbill from Shoujo because she's playing it. They harassed Pikami. Yeah, they harassed Pikami. Poor Pikami, she didn't deserve it. She did not deserve it.
She did not deserve it.
Don't get political in here, man. Don't get political. Just, man. Okay, I'm gonna get political. Okay, I just think it's hypocritical to lose your fucking mind about the Harry Potter shit and then to go and play like Genshin Impact or fucking Blizzard games. All right, I'm just saying. I could sympathize if it was like...
it is. No, I actually agree that it is. It essentially is.
Like, people were consistent with it, right? But it's not consistent. It's not fucking consistent, okay? It's not consistent.
Upon learning of Pikami's graduation, Pippa took the day off from streaming and returned the next day with a Hogwarts Legacy stream, despite her proclaimed dislike for Harry Potter. This was Pippa's way to stand against the Twitter outrage mob.
Today's stream! I hate this franchise, but I hate people on Twitter more!
This situation led to significant backlash.
Spending $60 and playing some dislike to own the libs.
Prompting a noticeable shift in public's opinion. The contentious nature of the issue brought about a strong reaction from those previously silent or neutral, revealing the broader spectrum of viewpoints and sparking more intense debate on the matter. And while it is true that some political...
It's okay to say you really hate, just be honest about your hatred. Crouching it behind Twitter P was cowardly.
Agitators might have partaked in this movement. Most people just wanted to play a game they loved. The problem is that these people attacked such a wide brush of people. It's like saying all Pokemon fans are transphobic. Most people didn't have any political stake in this. They just wanted to play a franchise.
I mean, some people may not even have fucking known about, like, JK's transphobia anyway, also. It's like, and that's the truth. That's like the reality. It's like not even everybody may have known that. Like, yes, I definitely agree that JK is a transphobic piece of shit, and I actively dislike her as, you know, just as the next person. You know, I think she's a terrible person. But like, there are a lot of the people that bought the game have no fucking idea about JK and her like transphobia, which is fine. And it's just like, it's always this thing where people will lump people in and be like, oh, everyone that plays this, or this entire fan base are transphobic and horrible people. That's when there's the issue that comes about, you know.
Grew up with. Nonetheless, this event ended up catapulting Pippa to higher heights as she got lots of people talking about her, for better or for worse. Many criticized her takes, and among her
people on Twitter, you mean minorities? Just say you're racist and transphobic. I don't know what racism has to do with it.
Biggest critic is a prominent political left-wing YouTuber called Vosh. Vosh likes to pick fights online. A lot.
But I stand by it. My moral principles are rock solid.
In hindsight, this would end up being a really poor choices of words for
More
Vosh.
principle?
So Vosh decided to pick a fight with Pippa based on internet threads meant to display her in a bad light that we'll cover later in the video.
Pippa, who I think is like a Nazi.
What?
The problem with Vosh is that he didn't expect this bunny.
What? A Nazi? The hell? Chill. What the fuck? Is there proof of that? I don't think you can just go and just randomly be like, oh yeah, I heard she's a Nazi. What the fuck? Like, I don't, like, can't do that. What the fuck? Like, that, like, I feel like if you're throwing accusations like that to say something about that, like, individual, you need actual, like, you need proof and evidence of that, to, like, you know, to label somebody as a fucking Nazi. That's crazy.
Anime girl to end up pulling some deep lore on him and absolutely cooked him. Let's just say Vosh has a history of taking clopping a little too far.
Did you hear about what Vosh said about you? Yeah, I think he said I'm a Nazi. I'm not really concerned if a horse fucker thinks I'm a Nazi, though.
Pippa was even more right there than she thought at the time. See, Vosh has been vocal in critiquing the VTuber community, alleging that it harbors individuals with pedophilic tendencies and even an overemphasis on lolly content.
Large portion of VTubers are degenerate 4chan incel pigs.
And he's also the same
Jesus Christ, chill, what the fuck?
Guy who's recently come under fire for accidentally opening his non-sorted folder, which revealed a bunch of very young looking girls in promiscuous positions with none other than horses.
This is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
I don't know what
fuck?
It's worse here that
in the fuck?
An example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
I don't know what's worse here, that he's a mega hypocrite, that there is literal horses mixed in his prawn folder, or that all of this is right next to his stacks folder.
Knowing now that that artist is a lolicon, yeah, I can see it. When I looked at it, I think the vibe that I got was like short stack, thick kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the way like goblins get drawn in porn.
I want to emphasize that even during the intense discussions surrounding Hogwarts Legacy and trans issues, Pippa consistently called for the respect of individuals' identities. She's issued a tweet.
Notice, it's nice to meet you all. It's been a hectic past few days, and I'm not sure how to word this properly. While I do appreciate all of the kind messages, I don't appreciate being used as an excuse to attack other people. Let's not shit-fling and attack other people's identities. If I see it, I'll be blocking and banning you from my community like I do the rest of the trolls and bullies. Do not try to misinterpret my words and use me as a banner to attack other people.
I respect that she put a proper, like a notice and a public statement. I respect that, and it's definitely good of her to, you know, to stand her ground and to say that publicly. I respect her for doing that. I think that's really good of her to do, and to, like, you know, make a public notice and be like, hey, I don't condone that kind of behavior, and, you know, if you do that, I'm not associating with you. I do not condone that. That's good of her to do, to stand her ground and do that.
Pippa.
Although it sparked considerable backlash, I believe was essential in.
I think if your brand is edgy internet shock humor, you don't get to bitch and complain when that draws even more edgy guys as your audience, or when people associate you with those guys as a result. Unfortunately, this is likely a smokescreen. The one in particular is known for being pals with,
defining her community's boundaries firmly. This step was crucial to communicate what is and isn't acceptable behavior within her community, showing her dedication to creating a respectful space despite what most of her aunties would want you to believe. On a lighter note, the next day of Pippa's Hogwarts stream was her birthday, and her fan, Mr. Yura, organized a birthday billboard ad for her,
wait, that's awesome.
which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Being a controversial figure has its perks and downsides.
Yeah.
One of the
obviously, yes.
downsides being that you're prone to attacks from outside sources, such as hacks, doxes, as well as being mass reported.
Yeah, because because you're seen as like a quote, like a, you know, if you're seen as like quote unquote like a bad person because you're controversial or whatever, then people are prone to like want to attack you, especially if you're, you know, publicly known as quote unquote a controversial figure.
One of those instances, Pippa's Twitter account got banned for a single day.
I got Twitter banned last night, and now I can't send tweets from my phone anymore.
On December 28th, Pippa also got her Discord banned as well for unknown reasons.
Her Discord banned?
What did you do? It's fine. It's fine. Too much bed posting? It's fine. Don't worry about it.
My Discord's gone? Guess I don't have to respond to DMs.
Luckily, she regained access back to her account on January 8th.
Because wasn't it like a corporate account or not? Because it was a Pippa account. Wasn't it like an actual corporate account for Face Connect? I don't know.
Hey, Discord support! You said I have 14 days to resolve my account issue or you close my account! But you won't respond to any tickets? My Discord is back! I will never say anything bad about Discord again!
Pippa was also embroiled in a fake doxing attempt. Basically what happened is that a YouTuber by the name of Camelot331 posted an IRL picture alluding that it was Pippa. Pippa then responded to the tweet confirming that this was not her and added that this could cause privacy issues for VTubers and legal issues for VTubers in corporation.
Yeah, especially corporate VTubers.
Jesus Christ, this not me.
Caught the girl at my house, so it's definitely not Pippa. That's a weird thing to do. What? Yeah, don't do that. That's no. Like, yeah, as it's dangerous to do that for VTubers. I can understand if you're not. I don't know if you don't know us. I can understand. Maybe not thinking that through entirely, and like, I can see how somebody might, I don't know, have that lapse in judgment, or may not think like if you're not into VTubers, or you don't know as much about VTubers, you're not really like intertwined with the VTuber community. Maybe you don't know how like harmful that can be to a VTuber. But I mean, honestly though, but even if someone was like a faceless creator and didn't want their face publicly out there, I still think it's probably not a good thing to tweet at all, and it can be potentially dangerous if they don't want their identity out there online. So I just think that's just not a good tweet.
Please don't post things like this about VTubers. It creates privacy issues, and for people in a company, it could create legal issues.
100%.
Camelot then apologized on Twitter for the trouble he had caused, stating,
"People obviously saw the picture I posted yesterday. Had I known the VTuber culture,
so that's kind of what I thought. It's like he's not really, he doesn't understand essentially the VTuber, like he's not in the VTuber community, so he didn't understand the sort of gravity something like that can have on a VTuber. That's sort of what I thought.
I've posted. A friend was hurt over it. Something I would never want to happen. Even more were hurt. It was a joke. Sorry to Pip. Good lesson learned. Apologies. Yours truly, C331."
Upon Pippa's tweet, internet detectives delved into the message, highlighting capital letters scattered within the text to unveil a hidden phrase. Phase is gay. This revelation led many to interpret it as either a lack of remorse or an act of trolling.
Okay, that feels like conspiracy theory shit.
Speculations arose that this cryptic message might have been a response to Pippa's previous jest, referring to him as a fruit during a collaborative podcast.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to see immediately.
Do you think it's your fault for looking a little too fruity, maybe?
Why you gotta say that?
But the biggest accusation Pippa has received is being called a Nazi and an anti-Semite. This is a common trend in VTuber spaces throw that word around. People also believed Gargura was a Nazi at one point, which I speak about in my Gura video. In one instance, Pippa joked about shekels, which is an Israeli currency, often referenced in Jewish conspiracy theories or anti-Semitic tropes.
Nice, thank you for the 937. Thanks for the stream, Pips. Have my shekels. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the... I'm rubbing my hands. Thank you for the shekels. What the fuck? I don't know. Whatever. Thank you, guys.
And then they also accused her of doing racist jokes.
Oh, man. Imagine he'd start... Imagine his opening line was like...
It's Hugo.
Which was... Well, that's Pippa.
What did he say? What did she say?
Your breath away.
which was, well, that's Pippa.
Sometimes I say stupid shit. I'm gonna fucking shoot up a Walmart! Sometimes I say stuff and I don't believe it, but I believe it while I'm saying it. And then 5 seconds later, I'm like, that was the stupidest
Like
thing
regret,
I've ever
yeah, like
said. Why did I
like
say that?
instant regret.
During a gameplay
yeah.
session of Hogwarts Legacy, some viewers interpreted the player's negative comments about goblins as being anti-Semitic as well.
That thing's fucking ugly.
Just a moment.
You know what? I think it's okay we're killing these things. They're pretty fucking ugly. I think we should genocide them.
This confusion may stem from prejudiced stereotypes about Jewish people, leading to a mistaken belief that their criticisms of
I feel like sometimes people like look too into things or have like link things to other things when it's not that deep. You know, like there are like certain like connections to things and certain stereotypes about, you know, about like different races or cultures or religions or whatever, when sometimes it's like also like sometimes individuals may not even be aware of it as well, but to me it just seemed like, you know, she just thinking like the goblins are ugly. I mean, it's fucking like Harry Potter. I don't know. I feel like there are sometimes there are people that look too into things and you sort of have like take things to heart essentially, based off of their own, you know, personal experiences, and they like think like, oh well, you know, this is linked to this because it's been said to me before, or you know, things like that. But I don't personally think she meant it like that. I do think that she just generally just thought the goblins in this, you know, Harry Potter game is kind of ugly. I mean, is Hogwarts Legacy even a Harry Potter game? Technically not, because it's just like has nothing really to do with Harry Potter.
goblin characters were indirectly targeting Jewish individuals. Allegations that Pippa then took the time to clarify during the stream.
I just want to say, people thought that I was being anti-Semitic, shitting on the goblins. The goblins have fucking black sclera and like wrinkly, gross little faces and long ears and shit. Bro, the guy, no! That's not a dog whistle, dude! They're goblins!
It's like, yeah, they're not even like human.
They're creepy looking!
Pippa also has been accused of denying the Holocaust, when in fact this clip only shows her reading a really messed up super chat.
For the 333, I think Helen was mostly legit, but not as capable as she's made out to be. Like, how...
What the fuck is that soup? That super chat's kind of out of pocket. The hell?
One event happened, but 6 million? No way. Wait a minute.
Same with this clip where she is going fully into her conspiracy theorist trope.
But K-Angel, what if I told you it's already like that? What if I told you that there's already a group of people running the world right now, and they have been for hundreds of years? They're even trying to reduce the world population to 1 billion, or so some conspiracy theorists say. What if I told you, K-Angel, that it's not about the population number, it's about who is left?
These are just few minutes out of thousands of hours of
Yeah, I mean, yeah, things can always be taken out of context, or it's like definitely it's like you take like what, like a 3-minute video out of like thousands and thousands of hours of streams. It's like
streaming. This isn't Pippa's main content. She usually focuses on creating uplifting projects, offering advices to VTubers, and producing entertaining content for her fans. These are just essentially edgy jokes, but joking about sensitive topics.
I've also heard of these accusations. I watch a fair amount of Pippa as I find her quite funny. I've never hear her say anything that would indicate malicious intent. She is somewhat edgy, and that kind of her brand. So there are things that could be taken out of context that makes her look bad, but I've never seen her actually do something that's actually bad with actual intent behind it. She is not politically correct, but I think that's good.
Doesn't require you to endorse these subjects, and if you don't believe me, just hear it from Pippa herself.
Sometimes I say stupid shit, but I don't mean it. Or sometimes I say stupid shit, and a year later, shocking, I know, but people change in a year. I don't believe it anymore. Or sometimes I still agree with it, but I didn't mean to word it the way that I did. I'm not gonna apologize, but I wish you wouldn't hate me so much. I would have worded it more nicely if I had known you were gonna hone in on it.
Pippa is often accused of being part of the alt-right movements, which has been associated with anti-Semitism. These antis often dig up clips of Pippa where she presumably manipulated coworkers into thinking that the Joshua Moon site is a good place.
They've talked about us a bit.
I don't even know.
They've been really friendly. There you go, Kiwi Bros. Hey, Chan just called you delicious.
Yes, this video is fucked.
Joshua Moon, let's collab! Sorry.
Crazy to think anyone would call Tenma innocent. The website owner addressed Pippa's comments, and her positive reaction to his response sparked additional controversy. This sequence of events further intensified the debate surrounding her actions and statements.
Did you see Noel's reaction to you? What the hell? No? What do you say? What the fuck is this pet anime shit? You said, why are we screaming, Ricky? I'll take it. I'll take it. You said you wanted to become a VTuber. No? Well, help him out, Chad. Help him out, man.
There's also been several threads made on Pippa where she is also accused of supporting and encouraging interactions with lolcows and alt-right Gamergates figures. The controversy surrounding Pippa involves clips that, when viewed without context, appear quite incriminating. However, it's important to note that these clips were often deliberately taken out of context. The background and timing of these accusations...
I mean, the thing is, right, whenever somebody, like, inherently, when you dislike somebody and you are clipping to, like, push a certain narrative, and, like, innately, like, inherently, you are biased. And so I would sort of be a bit... So I would take, like, some of those, like, you know, Twitter, like, clips with a grain of salt. Because, yeah, like, without context. And it's, like, it's very much so... I don't put it past somebody to leave out context. Because, obviously, a lot of these people are inherently biased by making, you know, clips or compilations of somebody who they actively dislike. Like, obviously you have a bias towards that person.
Are crucial for understanding the full picture. The allegations originated from a user involved in the hashtag #DropKiwiFarm movement led by Kifals, a controversial figure who had her own movement turned against her after she was accused of embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's obviously a lot more to be said about Keffels, but she's not a VTuber, so honestly, who cares? All you need to know is that this movement, which initially aimed to boycott this particular website, eventually morphed into a widespread hate campaign. Its main objective shifted towards opposing anything associated with kiwi farms. This campaign scrutinized anyone with even the slightest connection to the website, including those who referenced it in memes, jokes, or even casual mentions. Consequently, Pippa found herself targeted during this period, caught in the crossfire of the movement's broader agenda to combat the website's influence and activities. The problem is that a user or someone such as Bosch, who now stumbles onto these threads and who doesn't understand the context of the time and space where these were written, will only take these words at face value.
Pippa, who I think is like a Nazi.
And this is why she has been a heated topic amongst VTuber audiences in the past couple of years, but hopefully this helped shed a light on some of the misconceptions about her.
Listen, if I ever secure that Bosch collab...
You're gonna ask him to see his barn?
It's just polite.
Thing is, with Pippa, it really shows how a VTuber can embrace the whole 4chan / anonymous forums slash rats and how we can engage with these communities without necessarily have them define us. There is a lot of great content that can come out of mixing communities like this. And she is not just your edgy, epic, rabid VTuber, but a complex character capable of fitting both in the shitposting world and the glossy idol corporate VTuber scene. The fascinating thing with her is how she's managed to thread the line of controversy, often even crossing it sometimes, to the despair of her boss Fishman. She definitely likes to keep everyone on their toes, but she still managed becoming virtually uncancelable even through the really controversial shit she says. I guess that's the perks of always being really honest about who you are to your audience. They'll accept you for who you are. It makes it even more remarkable that she works for a company that allows her to do this.
Yeah, that's true. It's like crazy that the company even lets her do this. Like, I feel like there'd be other companies where like no fucking way, like you'd get terminated.
Intentionally recruits controversial talents, but still aims to be seen as a legitimate idol company. So she definitely had to become a bit more tame since joining. And that's probably for the best. There is only a certain degree of honesty the internet can tolerate until it creates much more hassle than is worth it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I was familiar with Pippa before this video, but I hadn't dove that deep into her content. After researching her, I can irrevocably say that I'm kind of a fan now. I mean, she's kind of based. I always like to see someone who is unabashedly themselves. But what do you guys think of her? Let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, I do respect people who are unapologetically
Pippa
themselves.
is often accused of being part of the alt-right movements, which has been associated with anti-Semitism.
Oh, bloopers. But okay, that was a really good video. That was interesting to get to know more about Pippa, I guess. I mean, is there anything you'd like me to check out from her? Let me know in the comments. I think, guys, so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, enjoy the channel for more VTuber-related videos. Please consider the subscribe when you have no way again closing 20k subscribers. How many of you channel go 20k subscribers? Please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.